What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. You know, I just did a video about brother Tariq Nasheed and his particular situation when it came to the Haitian migration crisis. How it was his opinion that Haitian migrants and their people should protect them right now. But I want to kind of transition back to AJ Johnson, who is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated great African-American stand-up comics of our time, of our generation. You guys saw him on the Martin Lawrence comedy tours, the Masterpiece I Got the Hookup tour. He's my top favorite comedian of all time. If you don't believe me, ask Simple to Pete. We had this conversation just about 60 days ago. But as we know that AJ Johnson suffered an untimely death, and in that his wife called for support for the money to bury him. His wife's name is Lexis Jones Mason, and people thought that was very interesting because why wasn't her last name Johnson? If she loved him so much, why was her name still so different? And I want to talk about that later, okay? But people criticized her and posthumously Mr. AJ Johnson because he didn't have any life insurance. He didn't set himself up for the future. And so was I in that criticism, and even though I donated. But it's interesting who did come to a big donation for him. And although there was some money that was raised, I shared it here on my platform, and others have shared it too. Michael Blackson donated $10,000, okay, to this particular fundraiser. He did so by Cash App. And he said it by saying that anybody who basically AJ Johnson has helped make laugh or anything like that, go ahead and give him the money. This is after his wife said, y'all say y'all love him, but y'all didn't help him. Which again it's just bullshit to me, because it's not anybody's responsibility to help you, but he did. But I want to talk about Michael Blackson. Michael Blackson was born in Ghana. Now there's speculation if he's considered really Ghanaian or if he's a Liberian or either one. I know he's born in Ghana. I don't know if it's a Liberian family or if he's a Ghanaian American. But here you have somebody who gives the biggest donation that isn't African American. Okay? It wasn't Ice Cube that gave that donation. It wasn't DJ Pooh. It was Michael Blackson. And what happens is that a lot of times when we get into the situation of, well, that person's African or that person is this or that person is that, let me tell you something, man. Sometimes the best friends that you can get, and this is why I'm such a strong advocate for Pan-Africanism, because I'm a very strong advocate for, let's say even the ADOS thing in America. I definitely believe, and that I'm a very proud African American. I love my people, and you people are who you've given me what I have today, and I love you for it. But at the same time, we don't know how we limit ourselves when we talk against other groups, even if they talk about us. Okay? Some people don't look at the world the same way. We have a lot of people caught up in like a Nigerian American versus African American beef. That one is quite common, or there's some discourse between that. There's the Caribbean between the African American beef. That's quite common. There's the Fulani and Hausa versus the Yoruba beef. That's quite common. There's the Somali versus, the Kikuyu and Kenya sort of beef. There's so many different types of things, Eritrean versus Ethiopian and stuff. But you know what? You never know who your real friends are until shit hits the fan. And we can say it that Michael Blackson did it for money or did it for clout, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that he did it. And here's a person that isn't African American, but he came to our defense because it was for the love of comedy. Okay? And there's a lot of black people out there that just love black people. Don't matter that you're a black person from Britain. It don't matter that you're a black person from Uganda. It just matters that you're a black person and I love you, and we share similarities. And a lot of times when we get caught up with, you know, people who want to push the beef to this side or that side, and don't get me wrong, I've been critical of Africans that have been critical of African Americans, and vice versa. I've checked African Americans for the same thing. We're limiting ourselves to who we can deal with. We need as many friends in the world because you never know who can help you. Let me just tell you something. One of my good buddies is a YouTuber by the name of Woden Maya. Really close friend of mine. I have a lot of close YouTube friends. Kevin Samuels is one of my close friends. Mediocre Tutorial is a good friend of mine. Solo TV 84 is one of my closest friends, and LAR Movement was really close. I don't talk to him as much as I need to, but he's my brother, right? I love all these guys. But Woden Maya is the single person I believe that has changed my YouTube career. And I love him for it. And I've cussed his ass out a few times. But do you know what? It was Woden Maya that helped me get the talent that I have today to run my system in Africa. And if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for me meeting him and him giving me certain advice on how to do things, I wouldn't be where I am today. But indirectly, because he helped me. He didn't think about it like, oh man, that guy's a black American. You know, he realized I'm a good person and he trusts me with certain things. There's certain stuff, Woden Maya, I mean, if it comes to a certain amount of money, he know, like if I give it to O'Shea, he gonna do what he's supposed to do. He won't give it to nobody else. Right? It ain't got nothing to do with me being African American or black. It's just that, hey, he's black. He's a cool guy. He's my brother. I love him. And you don't know who can help you. And then when you talk trash about certain people, look who comes to the defense of you. It's the African person. You don't know. You know, and the same thing with Africans. You know, they say something and you don't know who you might need. It might be a person from Oakland. You know, so this is why I tell people all the time, you never know who your friends are going to be. You never know who is going to be who. For example, I'll give you a good example, even though Kevin Samuels is African American. Who could have predicted his success 2-3 years ago? Don't know who somebody's going to be. Look at Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews here on YouTube. 10,000 subscribers just 16 months ago, 17 months ago. Look at him now. Don't know who somebody's going to be. You never know. People can be your best friend while the people in your community and your family won't give you nothing. And a lot of you guys who moved from your, neighborhoods and stuff like that, unfortunately you can't pick your biological family. But the family that you operate with every day in life, you get to pick. And I'm so glad that I have mine. I mean, I have people in Uganda that I can depend on to do more stuff than I can my own personal family sometimes, right? A lot of times. Because you just don't know. You need people in life. And I'm glad that Michael Blackson decided to step to the plate. And I want to say this very shortly about AJ Johnson's wife. Apparently, they were not together when he passed. He was living with his nephew, from what I've been told. Okay? So the money is going to go for the funeral. People are going to say is, well, she wanted $20,000. She going to get about $50-something thousand, not to mention the private donations coming in from superstars. And I want to preference that because it could be donations coming behind the scenes. My situation is this. Why was y'all not together? Or are you just doing this right now because he's dead and now you can get all the money and going about your life? That's the question that I would be wondering about. But guys, have you heard the same thing? What about you? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe and hit the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.